If you want to become a champion in 2025, it's not about training harder, it's about training smarter. I'm going to discuss 3 critical things you must master if you want to be a champion in 2025. Most coaches aren't even talking about this. The first thing is pattern recognition. You have to know what you're seeing before you can react. Now, boxing is filled with patterns, from the way boxers attack to the way boxers defend, to the way boxers move. Once you understand that everything in boxing is to do with timing and rhythm, then you begin to see the patterns. Somebody might even be moving around, and before they throw the cross, they might step 1, 1, 2. And this could be something so simple that a boxer does throughout the entirety of a fight, but you have to be able to recognize the patterns so you can see it and take advantage of it. Why it's so important to recognize patterns, because if you don't know what your opponent's going to do next, then you're gambling. And champions don't gamble. They predict and then they react. Now, the next is the neurological layer, predictive processing. Now, you don't want to just recognize patterns. You want to know what's going to come next. So you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of your opponents. So I'm boxing my opponent right now. I recognize the pattern of what he does. But now, through predictive processing, I'm going to predict what's going to come next. Throws a jab, he's likely going to throw a cross, he's likely going to throw a hook. So then I can prepare for it. I can parry, I can shoulder roll, I can catch, I can counter, because I've predicted what he's going to do before he does it. And that's the reason why you see fighters like Floyd Mayweather, in a split moment, he can just shoulder roll, counter. You see Mike Tyson, he can slip, roll, counter, because they've rehearsed it. They know what. I'm going to get there later, but they've rehearsed it. So we've got pattern recognition. We're recognizing patterns in the ring. Now, number 2 is the neurological layer, predictive processing. And the third is drills, set piece moves. Now, in boxing, you don't want to just be flowing when you're training. How old school fighters used to train. They'll be on the punch bag and they're just flicking their shots. They're feeling things out. They're going through the motion, which is a valid, really crucial part of boxing training. It is. But that's not going to make you a champion in 2025. But set piece moves will. When you watch Canelo Alvarez boxing and you see how many head movement drills he's doing with counter punches, that is the reason why when he fights, he's able to just slip punches so cleanly and throw such clean, furious counter punches. Just like Mike Tyson, there probably isn't a boxer alive with a greater highlight reel of knockouts than Mike Tyson. But when you watch him train, he trains in set piece moves. So every situation he's been in the ring, he's been in that situation 100,000 times in training, just like Floyd Mayweather. So this is what we're going to do. Pattern recognition. How do most boxers box? Now, most boxers have a traditional boxing stance. They're here, if they throw the jab, they're going to throw a cross, they're going to throw a hook. Most boxers don't double up in shots. And that's why when you see boxers like Josh Kelly, Roy Jones Jr., for example, doing it, it stands out. Because most boxers don't double up in shots. Instead, they throw one shot, then the other, then the other, then the other. Most boxers lead with their jab. It's not normal for a boxer to lead with a right hand or lead with a hook. And that's why when boxers like Floyd Mayweather do it, it stands out. So we've got to create a style that's tailored to beat 99% of boxers. Now, for the purposes of this video and just to help you understand, I'm going to use the Philly shell and the peekaboo stance just to make it clear. So, the Philly shell and the peekaboo stance, they're built to beat traditional boxers. So let's start with the Philly shell, Floyd Mayweather. He's here like this.
Why does this work for you?
Because
Classic Mayweather style.
Oh yeah, if a guy shoots a jab, I can pick his jab.
Right.
If a guy shoots a jab, I can pick his jab. If he come around the hook, I catch the hook right here. Pick his jab right here, catch the hook right here. If he shoot the right hand, I do like this, then I roll back and come.
Right.
So it's more like I can roll my shoulder and come here. I can roll my shoulder and come here. I can roll my shoulder and come there. And I can pick his shots like this. Either way, or I can slide under.
All right.
His weight is on the back foot. He can parry the jab. He can step back. If you did throw 1-2, he could parry, he could roll. If you threw a hook next, he could catch it. If you threw a left hook to the body, he could dip down. He can counter. His style, his stance is created in a way in which he'll have many ways to counter a traditional boxer or many ways to defend a traditional boxer's attacks. And that's the reason why he's able to come out on top of every single exchange. Well, 9 out of 10 exchanges, Mayweather wins them because he's rehearsed. What would he do if his opponent threw XYZ shot? My opponent threw a cross, I might roll it. I might step back. He might use the vertical forearm block. But he's practiced every single situation so many times that when a fighter is fighting him, they've probably never boxed somebody with the Philly shell. And if they haven't been anywhere near as good as Mayweather at it. But Mayweather's boxed non-stop, thousands of boxers with a traditional boxing stance. So it's very easy for him. So pattern recognition, your stance, your style, you have to adapt your style that can beat many other different boxers. For example, and if we're not even using the Philly shell, we're not even using the, peekaboo stance, let's just say we're a traditional boxer. And I know that most fighters are going to throw a jab, and after that jab, they're going to throw a cross. So I can be in my stance. And I might just catch you on the high guard, but I'm looking through. I've caught it again, I'm looking through. Now they've thrown a 1-2. I'm looking through. They throw a 1-2-3. But I notice, when they throw the 3, they drop their rear hands. They do again, for the second time. Now the third time, I've noticed that they have a pattern of dropping their rear hand. So the third time, I can catch it and I can counter. Now, that kind of mixes with the second. The second is predictive processing. Predictive processing is you predicting what your opponent's next move will be. So if you're fighting an opponent and they throw a jab towards you and their weight is on the rear leg, I know most likely a cross is coming, so I can prepare for it. I can predict, they might not even throw the shot, but I'm aware they could throw the shot. So because I'm aware they could throw the shot, when I parried the jab, I'm aware that cross, that 2 could come. So if it does come, I can react. And if it doesn't come, it doesn't come. The predictive processing is understanding how your opponent may act. So I'm fighting Floyd Mayweather now, for example. And it's funny because Mayweather's whole style was built on this, but no one ever used it in reverse.
Sometimes I may squat low just to touch a guy in the stomach. Right. But then I may feint him and come up with the hook. And
fight Mayweather now. I've thrown a jab, he's parried it. I've thrown a cross, and he's gonna roll it. It was a fake. And now I might turn southpaw and throw a rear cross to the body. For example, when you watch Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao did try that a few times. He went as if he was going to throw an attack to try see what Mayweather would do, and then he tried to throw a second attack. But I think Mayweather, off the top of my head, I'm not sure if Mayweather adjusted. I think he did land a cross on Mayweather by doing that. It's very important to bear in mind that very smart elite level boxers can use this against you, like Floyd Mayweather versus Diego Corrales.
I don't want to be just one-dimensional. Sometimes I may squat low just to touch a guy in the stomach. Right. But then I may feint him and come up with the hook.
So he kept attacking low. That was just so Diego will feel as though he's always going to attack low, because he wants Diego to register and recognize that pattern. But then he dipped low and came high with a left hook. So even though this is a very critical skill that you need to learn if you want to be a champion in 2025, you need to realize that it could also be used against you. Now, number 3, which is the most important, because no matter about knowing what to do, having the wisdom on what to do, you have to be able to practice it over and over again, because you need to make it autonomous. If I'm boxing someone and I know that they drop their rear hand after they throw a free, and I'm in camp, and I know that they throw that. If I don't practice it on fight night, I'm not going to be able to land the shot in real time when they're punching very fast. But if I drill it thousands of times on fight night, my brain is going to react autonomously, because it's not a cognitive thing. It's my subconscious. Your body will just react straight away. So when you see Floyd Mayweather on the pads and he's doing speed pad drills, that's loads of different set piece moves put together. Catch, counter, catch, counter, counter, counter. So when he's in the ring and he's fighting Shea Mosley, and Mosley throws a big cross and he can catch it and counter with rear hand, very effortless. It looks very fast, but the reason why it looks like that, because he drills it over and over again. You've seen Mike Tyson with the bob and weave bag, and he's just slipping. He's on the pads, and when he's on the pads with his coach, he's just doing set piece moves. And then after they finish it, he has a breather. He does it again, and again, and again. And that's the reason why when he fights, he does it so effortlessly. So now to wrap things up, I don't want to lose the point of the message of the video. So, pattern recognition. I'm boxing my opponents. I'm going to different shows, and everybody is throwing loads of jabs. They're throwing jabs before they begin to throw power punches. Now, what I can do is not engage. I can not engage. I can try bait them, try feign them. When they want to throw the jab, I'm going to move away. Reason being is I recognize the pattern that they throw jabs before they throw the power shots. And they're only going to throw the power shots if they land with the jab. So if I stop them at number 1, they'll never get to number 2. And when I'm boxing my opponent, when I'm doing feints, when I'm doing different feints, they might react in a certain way. They might open up in a certain way. They might not react to certain feints. And I have to change the feints I'm using from foot feints to hand feints, dropping low. And through that, I'll be able to see where they have openings. So, for example, if I keep feinting low and they open up, I come through the middle. If I step close and they immediately tighten up, I know I can look for the gaps. Then I have predictive processing. Just like Andre Ward here. He reads the jab coming, so he blocks it. Based on the pattern, he anticipates the cross and he counters it. He notices he's squared onto his opponent, meaning the short straight punch will land first, so he fires the cross. Then, knowing the likely follow-up is a hook, he prepares and catches it. Predictive processing is an act of analyzing your opponent's behavior to anticipate what's coming next. And now, number 3 is drills. You need to train in drills. So these things that I've mentioned, you need to drill it over and over again. You could be on a punch bag, for example, and for the first round on a punch bag, you pop high jabs, but you're really just feinting. You're really just not trying to engage. You're visualizing. You can be shadowboxing. You're popping like jabs, and you're visualizing what you're going to do. And then, as you're visualizing and you're starting to see gaps, you can start to open up in them gaps. Because this doesn't have to be a set piece move like a shoulder roll counter. You can mix tactics, you can mix game plan with this, like I've just done. To help you understand it, the Philly shell, you weights in the back foot, guards up tight, weights in the back foot. Now, depending on who you're fighting, they're going to behave in different ways. So let's just skip that pattern recognition part. But you're boxing someone and in the Philly shell, You've got predictive processing. You know they throw a jab, they're likely going to throw a cross. You're able to roll it. You know you can counter. But if you don't want to counter, they might throw a hook. You can catch it. You can catch it. You're in a peekaboo stance. Again, depending on your opponent, their behavior is going to change. Could change drastically. So let's just skip that stage and go to predictive processing. I'm boxing with a peekaboo stance now. So when I'm on the back and I'm doing drills, I can be touching jabs, feinting. I visualize the jab cross. I slip. I roll. 3, 2, 3. For example, I'm in a Philly show. I'm doing drills. I'm touching it. I'm touching it. I imagine that they're going to throw a cross. I roll. I counter. I roll out and step. You need to master pattern recognition, predictive processing, and then you have to really spend hours upon hours in the gym doing drills. Now, if you want to be a champion, you need to stop relying on talent and start to build systems. Champions are not born. No. Champions are created. So if you want to train like this, with structure, with purpose, come holler at your boy. Regal Boxing Gym in Forest Gate, London.